I'll be honest, when I first heard about hibiscus tea's anti-inflammatory properties, I was skeptical. Another trendy tea with exaggerated claims, right? But then I found the research. And what I discovered wasn't just impressive, it completely changed how I think about managing inflammation. We're talking about compounds that actively suppress the same inflammatory pathways targeted by pharmaceutical drugs. And today, I'm breaking down exactly how this works, with science, not speculation. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, chronic inflammation. Not the acute inflammation you get from a cut or sprained ankle. That's your body healing. I'm talking about systemic, low-grade inflammation that simmers beneath the surface for months or years. This type of inflammation is now recognized as a root contributor to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis and joint pain, autoimmune conditions, accelerated aging, even certain cancers. The problem? Your body's inflammatory response goes into overdrive. Inflammatory mediators like cyclooxygenase 2 or COX-2 and prostaglandin E2 flood your system. Nuclear factor kappa B or NF-kappa B, a master regulator of inflammation, stays chronically activated. And here's where it gets interesting. Certain compounds found in nature can help modulate these exact pathways. One of the most potent? Hibiscus tea. Let me show you the science. Hibiscus sabdariffa and Hibiscus rosa-sinensis, the varieties most studied for health benefits, are absolutely loaded with bioactive compounds. We're talking anthocyanins, flavonoids, and polyphenolic compounds that work together in a synergistic effect. Let's start with the stars of the show, anthocyanins. These are the same compounds that give hibiscus its deep red color. The primary anthocyanins in hibiscus are delphinidin 3-sambubioside and cyanidin 3-sambubioside. And here's what makes them remarkable for inflammation. Anthocyanins directly suppress the expression of inflammatory mediators. Specifically, they've been shown to inhibit COX-2 enzyme activity and reduce prostaglandin E2 production. Think of COX-2 as a factory that produces inflammatory compounds. Anthocyanins essentially slow down that factory. This is the same mechanism that common anti-inflammatory drugs use, but with a different risk profile, which we'll discuss later. Now, let's talk about what might be even more impressive, hibiscus's effect on nuclear factor kappa B or NF-kappa B. This is a transcription factor, basically a master switch, that controls the expression of genes involved in inflammation. Multiple studies have shown that the polyphenol and flavonoids in hibiscus can actually inhibit this transcription factor. When NF-kappa B is overactive, it triggers a cascade of inflammatory responses. By inhibiting it, hibiscus compounds help prevent that cascade from starting in the first place. This is particularly relevant for chronic inflammatory conditions where NF-kappa B stays persistently activated. We're talking about degenerative diseases, intestinal dysfunctions, and even atherosclerosis, the inflammatory process that contributes to heart disease. But here's where hibiscus really shines. It's not just one compound doing one thing. You're getting a synergistic mix. Anthocyanins, which suppress COX-2 and prostaglandin E2. Flavonoids like quercetin and camphorol, providing additional antioxidant protection. Polyphenolic compounds, which inhibit NF-kappa B activation. Phenolic acids such as protocatechuic acid, helping reduce oxidative stress that triggers inflammation. This combination creates what researchers call a multi-targeted approach. Instead of hitting a single pathway, as many pharmaceutical interventions do, hibiscus compounds act across multiple inflammatory mechanisms at the same time. Researchers often measure this effect using a deep pH assay, a test that evaluates free radical scavenging ability. Hibiscus consistently shows strong radical scavenging activity, which directly correlates with its anti-inflammatory potential. So how does hibiscus compare to other anti-inflammatory botanicals you may already be familiar with? Let's put hibiscus in context. If you're into natural health, you've probably heard about turmeric's curcumin, ginger's gingerols, or green tea's EGCG. All of these are legitimate anti-inflammatory compounds. Turmeric works primarily through NF-kappa B inhibition and COX-2 suppression, very similar pathways to hibiscus. The difference? Curcumin has notoriously poor bioavailability. Your body struggles to absorb it without enhancement. That's why you see it paired with black pepper or in special formulations. Hibiscus anthocyanins, by contrast, have demonstrated bioavailability, especially when consumed as a tea. The compounds are water-soluble and readily absorbed. How about ginger? Ginger is phenomenal for acute inflammation and particularly effective for digestive inflammation. Its gingerols work fast. Hibiscus seems to shine more in addressing systemic, chronic inflammation. It's not either-or, some people combine them. But if you're looking at long-term inflammatory conditions, hibiscus offers a broader spectrum of compounds working across multiple pathways. Green tea? Green tea, with its EGCG, has been proven effective for inflammation, metabolism, and more. Here's the interesting part. Hibiscus offers complementary benefits. Where green tea excels at catechin-based antioxidant activity, hibiscus brings the anthocyanin advantage, different compounds, different mechanisms. Some studies directly comparing polyphenolic beverages have found hibiscus to have comparable or superior antioxidant capacity to green tea, depending on the preparation method and measurement used. The takeaway? Hibiscus isn't trying to replace these botanicals. It's offering a unique profile that deserves its own place in an anti-inflammatory protocol. And the best part? It's affordable, accessible, and incredibly easy to prepare. Speaking of which, alright, let's get practical. You want the anti-inflammatory benefits. Here's exactly how to maximize them. First, sourcing. You want organic, food-grade dried hibiscus sabdariffa calyces. Those are the flower parts used for tea. You'll find these at health food stores, online, or even Latin American markets where it's sold as Jamaica or agua de Jamaica. Use 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried calyces per 8 ounces of water. Water temperature: 200 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, essentially boiling or just off boiling. Steep time: 5 to 10 minutes minimum. Here's the key: longer steep times extract more polyphenolic compounds. Research shows that the anthocyanin content increases significantly with longer steeping, up to 10 minutes or even more. You want that deep, rich crimson color. If your tea looks pale pink, you're not getting the full compound profile. To see real health benefits, aim for 2 to 3 cups a day. Consistency is key. The anti-inflammatory effects are cumulative, so you need to drink it daily for several weeks, not just once in a while. A few quick tips: you can drink it hot or cold, but watch the sugar. Too much sweetener can actually cause the inflammation you're trying to fight. If you have a sensitive stomach, the natural tartness might be a bit much. Try diluting it or drinking it with a meal. Finally, for the most potent brew, don't just steep it. Give the flowers a quick 2-minute simmer. This helps extract more of those deep red antioxidants like anthocyanins and polyphenol. Now, for a critical part that often gets overlooked: safety and interactions. While hibiscus is generally safe for most, there are a few groups who need to be careful. First, if you're on blood pressure medications or diuretics, listen closely. Hibiscus is so effective at lowering blood pressure that it could actually double up with your meds, causing your levels to drop too low or leading to electrolyte imbalances. Always talk to your doctor before adding this to your routine if you're on these prescriptions. Second, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you should generally avoid hibiscus. It can affect reproductive hormones and has traditionally been used to stimulate menstrual flow. Also, if you have a surgery scheduled, stop drinking it at least 2 weeks prior, as it can interfere with blood sugar and pressure regulation during the procedure. The bottom line: if you have a sensitive stomach, start slow, maybe 1 cup a day, to see how you handle the acidity. This isn't meant to scare you, it's about being informed. For most healthy adults, hibiscus is a fantastic addition to a wellness routine, but your individual biochemistry always comes first. So, here's the bottom line: hibiscus isn't just folklore. It's a scientifically backed tool that targets inflammation at the source, using anthocyanins and polyphenol to switch off inflammatory pathways like COX-2 and NF-kappa B. To get those results, remember, 2 to 3 cups a day, steep for 10 minutes, and stay consistent. But inflammation is actually just the beginning. In our next video, we're diving into the cardiovascular research, specifically The study's comparing hibiscus directly to pharmaceutical blood pressure medications. The results are genuinely surprising, and you won't want to miss them. If you're ready for that deep dive, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. I want to hear from you. Have you tried Jamaica or hibiscus tea before? Did you notice a difference? Drop a comment below and let's get the conversation started. If this helped you today, give it a thumbs up so others can find this research too. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and stay healthy.